our graduating class.
Congratulations. So proud. So proud. Thank you. Good morning, class of 2017. You know, there's not much to say, actually, after you have these inspiring and dynamic student speakers before you, but I still will offer mine. Dean Brady, most distinguished honorees, dedicated family, friends, faculty, and especially to each of the talented, ambitious, courageous, passionate, civic-minded GSPP graduates of the class of 2017 before us here today, thank you. I run out of adjectives to describe your tremendous exploits, and particularly the ones we anticipate you will do from this point onward. What an honor it is to share in this day with you, and especially to a privilege it has been to teach in the core graduate MPP and PhD programs and our inaugural MPA cohort. You soon to be alumni of the 47th graduating class of Goldman have made an indelible mark on the school, and I think the school's made an incredible impact on you, your worldviews, igniting your engagement in public policy issues. Now, we know there's no testimony without a test. And we attest as faculty that this 2017 graduating class of GSPP has passed with flying colors. Well, some less vibrant colors than others, but in full color, all the same. All manner of examination, cross-examination, from 48-hour projects to econometrics finals to APAs. But how many of you know these milestones are never accomplished alone? So while we've done it already, let's give another round of applause to the best supporting actors and actresses in our lives that are our help. The parents, the spouses, the siblings, the family, the friends. This is our Oscars, and we stand on the shoulders of giants. So let's give another round of applause. Amen. Now, I was invited as a faculty speaker, but I'm actually here as a weatherman, your personal meteorologist today. And what's your favorite season? You got fall, spring, summer, winter. Well, mine is commencement season. And whether you're a graduate or not, it's a time to reflect, listen to others' lessons, life lessons, celebrate the accomplishments, and look to the future with hope. And as your economic meteorologist, making forecasts is what we do. And based on all the models my research team has done, I declare the forecast is tremendously bright. Even amid some divisive overcast storm clouds developing at the federal level, but we understand elections determine who gets the power, not who offers the truth. So let the light inside you shine brighter than the light that's on you. As Dr. Martin Luther King once said, only in the darkness can you see the stars. And we're here today to celebrate our stars. The glory of your future is so bright. You are morning sun. You are morning sun, rising above yesterday's limitations, rising with warmth of purpose. And as you move into that purpose, remember that daily we make choices, and our choices make history. And you're here because you consistently choose to be upstanders, not bystanders. You choose to lead with the valued principles of inclusivity, diversity, justice. You've chosen a career path where you shine your light in service of others. You choose not to simply respond to the priorities and politics of a moment, but to invest yourselves in the important issues for humanity and the world we live in. Our lives don't revolve around election cycles, but rather around the gravitational pull of purpose. You embody that unmistakable sense of agency, a desire to do the most good for the greatest amount of people. And it's in this way, collaboratively, collectively, that this graduating class has earned the highest grade on the test that really matters. Your time here will prove to be an important springboard, catapulting you into another level of that purpose. Now, UC-Berkeley is not just a world-class university with a top public policy school in the country, but it's a sanctuary institution, withstanding the changing winds of time, where we exchange light with each other and watch the dawning of our future leaders in public service. For public servants are ordinary people doing extraordinary jobs, lifting up underserved populations, left out voices, excluded groups, to make room at the table upon which policy analysis and policy formation occurs in city halls, state capitals, legislative halls. We have an unwavering commitment to social justice, equal opportunity, production of rigorous research to inform contentious debates. We answered the call to seek solutions to the problems of our generation and anticipate those of future ones. The first step is to see the problems. The first problem is the failure to see the people. So I want you to not lose sight that underneath all the statistics and rigorous analyses lie children, families, communities personally affected. And what we're asking of you is to transition from studying how to measure causal effects to cause an effect. We expect you to be the producers of global effects. And we stand on the front lines of climate change, energy and environmental policy, to education policy, economic policy, international economic development, criminal justice policy, national security, and so much more. And speaking of so much more, have you ever heard the sentence, "It's just a piece of paper"? Someone could look at your birth certificate and say, "It's just a piece of paper." Some may not value the purpose of marriage and say, "It's just a piece of paper." Some see this day you culminate your educational endeavors and say, "It's just a piece of paper." But no one sees this and says it's just a piece of paper. So let's not be foolish knowing the price of everything, but the value of nothing. Today is much more than receiving another piece of paper. Today you get a passport, one without parameters as you journey the paper trail between your birth certificate and death certificate. This passport is not an ending, but a beginning of new possibilities, new opportunities. Your passport gives you access to places you may not even know exist. Today's piece of paper is a passport to get past the border patrol of hesitation, get past the border patrol of self-imposed limitations, get past the border patrol of external expectations. You are now free to move about the country and beyond. Leave behind a trail of ideas and good works across the globe that others may follow your footsteps. Remember, ideas travel. It's a new global world. But let's consider the paper trail of our distinguished alumni for glimpses of where your passport may take you. Our footprint is global. Holly Harvey, who sat in your seat 30 years ago. This GSPP alum is currently Deputy Assistant Director of the U.S. Congressional Budget Office. Nani Colaretti, most recently Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, was just named Urban Institute Senior VP. Pamela Spratlin, U.S. Ambassador to the State Department under President Obama. Andreas Romer, Mexican diplomat and one of Mexico's most internationally recognized public intellectuals. Michael Kabori, currently Vice President of Sustainability at Levi Strauss. Gary Pruitt, President and CEO of the Associated Press. I could go on, but leadership is not a position or title. It's an action and an example. And while your path may be different, a fantastic odyssey awaits you as you move ahead to discover what lies in the center of the intersection of four keys: your passion, your mission, your vocation, and your profession. It's the nexus and the interconnected embodiment of what you love, what you're great at, what the world really needs, and you get paid for it. It's a place I call purpose. Now, Mark Twain once said, the two most important days in your life are the days you were born and the day you find out why. People get burned out on their jobs not because of what they do, but because they forgot and they forget why they do it. Know your why. Don't forget your purpose. I recall on my graduation day, when I was awarded my PhD, which is now many years ago, I expected to suddenly feel smarter, like the Scarecrow in Wizard of Oz, like wish for brains. Spoiler alert. Not gonna happen instantaneously. And that kind of idea that I finally arrived, that elusive, again, even metaphorically, no such destination exists. But the solid foundation you've gained at GSBP allows the weight of everything else that you'll do to be well supported. And you've been set apart. This graduating class at GSBP is a diverse collection of change agents. There's two types of people. There are thermometers and there's thermostats. Now, you can allow your circumstances to change you, or instead you can be the person that changes the outcome. Be the thermostat that sets the conditions that change the environment around you. Now, history has shown that people have rarely met innovation and change with confidence and enthusiasm. Consider the reaction to the pencil, which scholars like Plato thought would have a negative impact on our memory. But to change the course of history, waters flow in one direction, and a single pebble, strategically placed, can change the entire currents of rushing water. Many of you have that opportunity to be that single pebble, but it often requires taking the road less traveled, to relinquish our fears and consider the magic that could happen if we take that step. You were created an original. Don't die a copy. Take a risk. Give the world your unique individuality and catalytic creative capacities for innovation. And in closing, let's just take a lesson from what the automobile industry can teach us about innovation and policy analysis. In the early 1900s, Henry Ford changed the world with the creation of the assembly line production system, creating vehicles at a rate and efficiency level never before seen. Adopted by manufacturers around the world, the assembly line remained the dominant global production strategy for nearly a century. As Ford said, if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. Instead, it was the mass production of the horseless carriage, the car. Now, although assembly line prototype was extremely efficient, there were known limitations. The system was unable to detect defects and wasted resources. Toyota profoundly advanced the auto industry with a new manufacturing model known as lean manufacturing, which greatly improved quality control and resource allocation. By the turn of the 20th century, lean manufacturing had gained widespread popularity. No longer did one person contribute one auto part in a silo. Now, there were several people synergistically collaborating as a team to produce the whole car. Workplace productivity and morale significantly increased. Toyota became one of the world's largest automobile companies, and many other manufacturers scrapped assembly line production for lean manufacturing. Car makers used to compete, now they cooperate. Now, there's much to be gained if we allow policy analysis and the design of them to follow suit. Too often there's a tendency for fragmented incrementalism. Fragmented incremental policy solutions are far less effective than comprehensive reforms, which have the transformative power to break the cycle of poverty. So as you step into your next role, use your uniqueness to help shift the policy paradigm from a singular approach to bring integrated policy solutions that reflect the synergistic effects of education, safety net, health, and housing policies. You could be the generation that addresses racial, economic, and environmental justice issues with collaborative policies that forever change the course of history. The world needs you now. It's yearning, starving for you, your policy analysis, your leadership, your diverse perspectives, social justice, your understanding of the issues, the trade-offs, the alternatives, your appreciation for the power of policy to transform lives and the world around us. I pray that empowered with this degree in public policy, that you would discover a career path that overflows with immense possibility, improbable beauty, and relentless truth. There's a lot of delayed gratification in this work, so savor this moment of accomplishment, and then fly out of this building, armed with the skills, tools, and knowledge that you make a difference, and that your policy analysis is necessary, your leadership is necessary, and the world and its constellations of problems are eagerly awaiting to hear what you have to say and do. So be sure to represent voices of those unheard and not at the policymaking table. Never stop growing, never stop learning. Take off. Live without pretending. Love without depending. Listen without defending. Speak without offending. We look forward to reading all about your great exploits, following your paper trail, and to taking credit for all of them, as if everything started here at GSPP. Thanks for the bright forecast ahead and allowing me to be your meteorologist for this special day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.